Welcome to the Sailor Noob podcast, where a superfan and a noob talk about the original Sailor Moon episode by episode. I'm your host, Mikan Hana, joined by my co-host.
I'm the co-host and the noob, Caliban. Jump for your dreams, and you'll land in the dirt.
And we're a couple of magical people ready to Moon Crisis make up this episode. Today we are talking about episode number 155, Kyofu o Koete, Jiyu Hei no Jumpu in Japanese. Overcome your fear, the jump to freedom, the English translation, and the English title, Vaulting to Victory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vaulting's probably more accurate. I mean, a jump is involved. Every vault is a jump. Not every jump is a vault.
Correct, sir.
But, you know, that's a translation thing. I was thinking the other day about how much it changes something when you translate it.
Yeah.
Because you go like, oh, what is this? Oh, that's like a laundry, like a child's laundry. You know, it's like the specific meaning. It might not matter.
It might
Chair,
not.
stool, maybe it doesn't matter. But maybe a stool would indicate the economic status who we're talking about.
Sure.
If somebody had a chair, it's like, oh, it was a nice chair, or a cheap chair, or a rolling chair.
Right.
But a stool would be like, oh, maybe they only have a stool.
And is it like a small stool? Is it a tall stool? Is it a bar stool? Like,
right? Are they in a bar?
About?
Right.
Yeah.
Are they at a shoe shine booth?
Yeah. Is it one of those?
I mean, that's an adjective. So you could just put
Yes.
that. It'd be a tall chair or a tall stool. But I appreciate you trying to help me make my point.
Well, I was going to also say, is it one of those annoying stools that has a slight back, just like an inch? Like you feel like maybe you could lean back in them. But no, you can't.
Listeners, I had no idea she had so much stool content. But before we get into the content of your stool, I wanted to talk about the content of this episode and the fact that we double up on the kids.
I know.
We go right back to
Yep.
Juban Elementary because the star of this show is Chibiusa.
Yeah, I know.
But we don't focus on Momo.
We already did Momo.
Yeah, I guess we did.
We did. We
so
did
let's
Momo
do a
earlier.
couple Kyusuukes to just to get through that. Thought that was kind of interesting. And
Yeah.
the fact that Momo is barely in this episode means that we can't talk about one of my favorite news stories from a couple of years ago. The fact that there is a Japanese racehorse called Sumomomomomomomo.
Yes. I believe we talked about this at least once before, which is fantastic.
Which
yes.
I don't know. I guess that's got to be. I always heard that you had to have 17. I'm not going to count them right now, but a horse's name, including spaces, can't be more than 17 characters because it's got to fit on the race form.
Sure.
And into their computer or whatever.
That all
so
makes
whatever
sense.
it is, Jimmy's Money Pit, Assault and Battery, Seabiscuit.
Oh my God.
So it's got to be less than that number of characters. And then, I don't remember if we talked about it before, but it's a reference to a Japanese tongue twister.
Yes.
Which reads Sumomomomomomo Momo Momomo Sumomomomomomomo Nouchi. Okay, I almost made it.
You did a pretty good job.
Which is plums are peaches and peaches are peaches, and plums and peaches are both types of peaches.
Yes. It's pretty fantastic.
Stools are jumps and vaults are chairs.
Okay.
There's a lot, and then that sent me down a rabbit hole of other
no.
Japanese tongue twisters, and there are some crazy ones.
I'm sure there are. They love their wordplay, so that does not surprise me at all.
There's the Chinese poem, The Lion-Eating Poet in the Stone Den, which
Okay.
is just the word she.
Used many different ways.
About 47 different times.
Sure.
But it's all
Different
inflection.
meanings.
Yeah, and then it's also the character pronounced either the same or no.
Right.
The character would differentiate. And
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a combination of inflection, but also
How
homophones.
you read it.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God.
Harder than Chinese algebra should be harder than Chinese homophones. Right? Like 30 characters. They're all
Yeah.
pronounced she. It's
Yeah.
like, great.
Yeah, great. I'm so excited about
I can't
this.
wait. Yeah, the Elvis Costello song "She" must be a real tough one. A lot of extra meaning in Chinese.
Oh my gosh.
But there's no Momo to go Mo.
To go around?
Yeah. On this episode, unfortunately.
I know. And her name does mean peach, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh no, it means peach.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No Momo, but we do have some Spotify questions.
All right.
Or answers, I suppose, for this episode. On every episode, on our Spotify page for that episode, there is the question, what did you think about this episode? And what's the opposite of inquiring? Expressing.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Edifying listeners.
Yes, there you
Tell
go.
us what they thought about this episode. And a couple listeners did for our last episode, 154, Clash of Dreams, Minako and Makoto's Broken Friendship.
Yes.
User Ribbon says, Siri is my favorite of the quartet. I appreciate her willingness to sedate her sisters, then blow the department budget on clothing and transportation. B+
That's true.
for a D- season.
Okay.
And I don't disagree. I did not enjoy that episode, but
No.
I'm getting to like Siri, and
she's quite sassy.
she's got Riz.
Yeah, she's quite
as the
sassy
kids
too.
say. Yeah.
Like she's like swinging her hips back and forth.
Yeah, she's doing the thing. Doing the Mae West thing. And then listener Cincy Raz said, Mars is red, Mercury is blue, only 12 more episodes, and Supers is through.
Excellent.
Good. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Venus is orange. Green is Jupiter.
Yes.
Could Sailor Moon Supers be any stupider? So
oh my
God,
God, that's great.
So thanks so much for that, Cincy Raz.
Yeah, thank you, Cincy Raz.
We are also counting the episodes until it's over, and we've got to have some kind of big party or celebration. Sailor Moon Supers is over party. Hashtag.
Woohoo! Yeah.
And we'll recap all the, usually at the end of a season we say like, what was the best? What was your favorite?
Yes.
Let's plumb the depths.
Do our least favorites.
Instead, let's say, what was the worst?
What was the worst?
The worst that.
Oh my gosh.
We've got the stats. We can go back through the ratings.
That's true. That is very true.
Just the most head-scratching puzzler moments, like, why this?
There's a lot.
Why this?
There's a lot of that, honestly.
Yeah. But that's something to look forward to in the same way that we look forward to your answers to our question, what did you think about this episode, on every Spotify episode of this podcast.
Yes. Without further ado, would you like to give us a breakdown of today's episode?
I can. There's a lot of things that happen in this episode.
Okay.
The first thing that we see is the hem of Zirconia's garment as she metaphorically cracks the whip and says, "Where are those damned girls?" She shouts from her elephant perch, "Show yourselves!" From the rafters of the big top, we hear voices say, "Sheesh, don't be so annoying. Think of your blood pressure. We're playing hide and seek." And we cut to an outside view of the big top as we hear Zirconia scream, "Quiet!" Pala falls from the rafters to the center of the ring, landing on her ass, and immediately Vest lowers a net over her head and says, "Found you!" So this is how they play.
Yes.
Siri arrives as well as Zirconia asks, "Where is June?" Pala says, "She was bored, so she went out to play." And Vest says, "So what's up? You find a target, you old hag?"
I know.
Zirconia throws a picture at them in disgust, and they look at it with distaste. Siri says, "Not my type." But Zirconia says, "Too bad. When will you bring me the golden mirror?" Vest says, "That's not our fault." And atop Zirconia's staff, Zircon twitches uneasily.
I know.
I like the charactering of Zircon.
I do too.
What a missed opportunity. It was 30 episodes. Nothing from this thing. Now we're getting the sense that, there's something
stress
there, there's alive.
Yeah,
a
get a little stress,
the
sweat.
vein.
Yes.
A vein on his eyeball. Which kind of works, I guess.
Yeah.
Pella says, Pala doesn't like this one, so let's give it to June. And the other Amazonesses agree, and they return to their game. While Zirconia says, "Wait, I've got more to tell you!" But it's too late. The girls run off as we focus in on the photo, and we see that it's a picture of Kyusuke.
Yes.
The scene shifts to an aerial view of Tokyo that zooms in to Juban Elementary as we see a montage of students in athletic gear setting up for the big athletic meet.
Uh-huh.
Big athletic meet! It's like a protein supplement service for athletes.
I can see it.
Right?
Yeah.
For only $14.99 a month, you can get some of the muscliest, sweatiest
Oh my God.
meats from our selection.
Gross.
Just use the promo code NoobSailor for your free sample of Big Athletic Meat.
Oh my God, gross.
We hear Junjun's voiceover as she wonders what they're doing, and she speculates they must be building a bigger circus to compete with the dead moon.
I kind of like that.
I kind of like this aspect of her. Like, she's the acrobat, she's the performer, but she's the kind of person that would, like, go down to Main Street and go, poster's not in a good place. She put that in the front of the building. More foot traffic.
Yes.
She's like thinking about these sort of things, We got to how about a sale on peanuts? That's going to get people in the door.
Yeah.
All right. I got to go warm up. As the activity at the school buzzes, we see Chibi with her backpack heading out.
Yep.
And when Kyusuke sees her, he says, "Hey, aren't you going to help out?" But she doesn't hear him.
Mm-mm.
On the street in front of the school, Chibi seems bummed out. But then she runs into Usagi, Makoto, Minako, and Mamoru. Mm-hmm. Coming in from the last episode, I guess. Mako says, "Oh, is it almost time for big athletic meet?"
Was that how it was
I gotta get some more sweaty steaks.
Oh my god.
I get fired up for these things.
Oh my god.
And Usagi says, "Yeah, I look forward to Makoto's lunches." And Minako says, "I love cheering on my crush from the bleachers. Sometimes he's on the wrong team." But Chibi doesn't seem happy. At the entrance of the school, Kyusuke is helping to hang a banner for the meet atop the gate of the school. And he grabs one of the ropes, and to everybody's horror, he jumps off the high sign.
Yeah.
But he does a Tarzan swing on the rope. He does a flying somersault flip with a superhero landing.
Yes.
And he says, "A perfect 10." But the Russian judge gives him a 3.5.
Oh, no.
As this happens, a message is superimposed over the screen saying, "This is dangerous, so please don't try this."
Yes.
Now, show?
I know.
Now you want to warn people? Do PSAs?
Yeah.
How many 6-year-olds threw themselves off of balconies?
I know.
Before.
I know, exactly.
How many kids are like, "I'm going to make some curry." Chop fingers off.
Oh my god. How many kids are like, "Well, if I put this umbrella up, that'll ease my way down from this balcony."
I can drive a city bus.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they want to do it. So thanks for that. The squad starts clapping. Oh. And Mako's like, "He's in your class, right, Chibi? You looking for a new senpai, Mako?"
Oh my god, no.
So when Mako's interested in your boy, watch out. Chibi just says flatly, "Kyusuke Sarashina." And everybody stops clapping abruptly as a large, jogging-suited man comes up behind Kyusuke and pounds him on the head, saying, "Idiot, I told you not to do dangerous things. See me after class." And he walks off. Ooh.
It works.
Kyusuke walks over to the group, rubbing his head, and Chibi's like, "Smooth move, X-Lax." And he's like, "I'm trying to get your attention. I was yelling earlier. Why are you going home?" And Mako says, "Chibi, do you not like big athletic meat?" What about veiny drumsticks?
Oh my god.
Chibi says, "It's not that, but the obstacle course has the jumping box." And everyone's like, "Well, there you go." The jumping, what?
Yeah.
We see the jumping box.
Yes.
Which I guess is like a hurdle box.
Like or like, do they have it in gymnastics? Like it's like a vault? Is it called a vault?
I mean, you could practice jumping like hurdles, or like, I don't know, steeplechase or something. But yeah, it seems like more like a gymnastics thing.
Yeah. But
anyway, yeah, it's like it's a trapezoidal box. It's made up of sections, so you can set it to certain heights.
Yes.
I mean, you can use it for vaulting, hurdling practice, I suppose. But anyway, we see it from beneath it as it eclipses the sun and comes straight down at the camera. Like a giant stepping on an anthill.
Yeah.
And Usagi's like, "What? Oh, well, it's just a jumping box." And everyone recoils in horror. "Oh, ye, who are so flippant about the jumping box." Mina says, "You shouldn't say that, Usagi." And Mako, she said the N-word. And Mako says, nitrates. Bad when you're doing big athletic meet.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Too many nitrates. And Mako says, "Yeah, can you jump?" And Usagi's like, yes, I can jump jumping boxes. You guys are so cruel. Stop underestimating me." And Kyusuke is like, "You guys got strong feelings about jumping boxes." Chibi says, "You don't know about the jumping box because you don't take practice seriously." And Kyusuke says, "Bah, athletics is all about natural ability and performance-enhancing drugs. Say, can I borrow some piss?"
What?
He says, anyway, I couldn't teach you. I got natural ability. And Chibi screams, I didn't ask you to teach me. Mamoru's watching all this and he says, big athletic meat. Well, that brings back some memories.
Oh my God.
And Chibi there's a unintended sort of aspect to this now.
Uh-huh.
And Chibi's suddenly like, Mamo-chan! But, and this all happens fast, we see a flash of Usagi's eyes.
Yes.
And then we see her grabbing Chibi by the mouth.
Yes.
As Chibi says, please teach me to jump jumping boxes. But Usagi says, no, we're going shopping. There's no time for that. Chibi clasps her hands together and hits Mamoru with the full power of her kitty obsequience.
Yes.
Mamo-chan, please teach me to jump jumping boxes. Usagi laughs, touches Chibi's cheek and says, no. Chibi goes full Agretzko and yells, are you saying it's okay if I get embarrassed in front of everyone? And Usagi says, ha, this is an obstacle. Why don't you jump over it yourself?
Wow.
And the two begin a battle of wills and bodies. Everyone else is amused, and Mako says, we don't actually have that much money anyway. And Mina says, let's all practice the jumping box. Chibi is elated and says, arigato, mina-sama. Can you take mina, which is like the verb, not really a pronoun, but the term for everyone, and then put an honorific on the end of it?
Mina-sama is definitely a thing.
So you can put sama or san on the end of just whatever you want?
Okay, I don't want to say...
Thanks, peanut butter sandwich, san.
I don't want to... Okay, I'm sure kids do that.
It's Mr. Peanut Butter Sandwich.
I'm sure kids do that. I'm sure companies do that. I'm not saying you can do that for everything.
The Japanese,
but
sometimes
for everyone.
You will have to address a lot of people, and you will have to do it respectfully.
Yeah, mina-sama.
You can't say like Mr. Johnson, Mr. Frank. We're not going to go through all that.
No.
Mr.'s all.
Mr.'s all.
Mr.'s one and all.
Yes, honorific to you all.
You crazy Japanese. You crazy for that one. And then Chibi leads them off, and they drag Usagi with them, leaving Kyusuke to watch them go, thinking, I got to re-up with my PED guy. Performance-enhancing drugs.
Oh, no.
PED.
Why did I think it was something different?
And what did you think it was?
I don't know.
What did you think it was, Precious?
I was thinking Pedialyte or something.
No, performance-enhancing drugs,
okay.
Which are probably dealt by the Yakuza. But since this is in elementary school, I'm thinking, kid Yakuza?
Oh, my God.
Little kid?
Yakuza kid.
Fake tattoos?
Oh, no.
Right? He's got the bandages around his sunglasses. Got a candy cigarette in his mouth.
Don't talk to that guy. Don't talk to him.
Oh, it's cute when girls do it. You can have all the ski-bon shows you want, but you turned down my idea for Kid Yakuza.
I'm not turning down... Okay, Kid Yakuza is gold.
Not you.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking to Bandai.
Oh, okay.
They didn't want my Kid Yakuza idea.
Kid Yakuza
He only stabs somebody in the finale.
Oh, my gosh.
Gets on his tricycle, makes the motorcycle noises. He's out of there. We see the competition field, and I don't know how these kids pull it off. There's an announcer's table, there's flags of the world strung everywhere, banners and decorations, and the track's all set up. Is this like the World Cup? Like, did they hire these kids for pennies on the dollar and make them work like slaves?
No. So it's... I know we've talked
about... It's like the World Cup. Wow, have you seen the new Juban Elementary Stadium?
Oh, my God.
Sit completely empty for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
Just got kids shooting dogs around town.
Stop it!
We got a real stray dog problem around here.
Stop!
Kids just crying as they shoot stray dogs.
I mean,
the World Cup's not great.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'm saying the World Cup is not great.
But it's Sports Day, which is an annual thing. We've talked about it before briefly on the show.
Is Sports Day like the World Cup?
In what way?
Here's your guns, kid. No, go on.
No, it definitely is not.
Why is Russia's gonna have the World Cup?
I know.
And the only thing that everybody can focus on is that they're gonna shoot. They're gonna shoot a lot of dogs.
I know. It's probably not the best thing to be focusing on, at all. But
I'm not saying that I want dogs to be shot.
I don't.
But that's kind of the big story that I remember.
Maybe like the kid Yakuza, he has like a junior switchblade.
It's just a comb.
It's just a comb. It didn't come with a blade in it.
Right.
So,
but then like the news is like, a child was stabbed with a comb 15 times.
Oh my God.
It's very ragged wounds.
Oh my God.
And his hair was perfect. Well, Jun sees this and she thinks, these assholes are trying to compete against us. Very business-minded, very professional.
Yes.
And she looks cool, too. She's in, like, high-rise jeans. She's got a black leather jacket with the sleeves torn off. And a deep red ripped T-shirt underneath. She's dressed like a character that would appear in the later seasons of a 90s sitcom aimed at kids.
Yes.
Not necessarily Disney Channel quality. Just syndicated.
Yes.
Just a syndicated series.
Sure.
Although if those Disney Channel kids were going to put on a show like their favorite rock band, one of them would be dressed like this.
Yes.
And have a fright wig.
Yes.
Like Nikki Sixx or something like that.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
She sees Kyusuke hauling out the jumping box to set it up on the track, and once it's assembled, he just stands and stares at it. We go into his flashback, and we see him as a little kid. Saying, "Watch me take the big jump!" And he runs at the box. And from the sidelines, surrounded by other young students, his teacher says, "No, stop! It's dangerous!" And the kids are probably like,
"Hey, it's Bart! And he's doing stuff!"
Just before he's set to leap over the box, his foot slips and he smashes into the box, breaking it apart and sending him sprawling. He got hit so hard that his hair turned green. He's got brown hair as a little kid, but then like...
Yeah, you're right.
Is green hair supposed to mean...
Did he dye it
Well,
or
actually,
something?
we know that they don't let you do that.
No, they don't.
Yeah. I think this is injury related. In the present, Kyusuke thinks, ever since then, the jumping box is the one thing I couldn't do. That and resist the sweet sting of these performance-enhancing drugs, or PEDs.
Oh my God.
In his mind, he sees Chibi looking aghast and saying, "You can't jump the jumping box?" And he sees visions of his classmates saying the same. He finally snaps and says, "I can't let Kyusuke, the master of all sports, be a laughingstock." Then he starts running at the box. Jun yells, "Do a flip!" But as he gets closer to the box, his speed ebbs until he collapses against the box, saying, "Why can't I jump? Why?" Jun thinks, okay, that's enough of this, and leaps off the top of the building where she's been sitting. She Naruto runs down one of the ropes with flags on it. She hits the ground. She leaps over the soccer goal and perches on the jungle gym in an I'm cool pose.
Yes.
And Kyusuke is like, "Wow, sugoi." Although there's some other word that means a girl is awesome, I think.
Is that
Because it was
true?
like sugad or something like that.
Oh, I'm not aware of that.
There's guy awesome and there's girl awesome. And we learned this very early. And she says, "Yo, you look like you're not good at jumping boxes. Want me to be your coach?" A totally normal thing to hear on this series. And Kyusuke's like, "Really? Do I get a training montage?" We'll see, kid. We'll see. At Juban Park, the squad is currently training, and Usagi is bending over to provide a makeshift jumping box. As Makoto tells Chibiusa, "Listen up. The most important things are when you jump and the timing of planting your arms." Which gives me a very different idea of the kind of jump that I thought they were going to do over this box.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you think they were going to do?
I thought that you would clear it.
Oh, okay.
Like a hurdle.
You just completely jump over it.
And the more I talk, the more you're going to realize this should have been called the vaulting box.
Yes.
Except they said jumping box about 457 times.
Yes.
So anyway,
That's true.
From now on, we're going to be vaulting.
Yeah.
We'll be vaulting over the jumping box. Chibi, who has a look on her face like she'd rather fill this box full of slugs than jump it, says, "I got it." And Mina gives the signal that they're ready over Usagi's protests. Usagi says, "I can already see how this will end." And Mako says, "Go for it." Chibi begins running towards the jump, and behind Usagi, Mamoru stands with his arms open wide, saying, "It's okay, jump." And Chibi is experiencing like a Dreamweaver moment as she sees Mamoru with his arms outstretched. Manako says, "Yes, jump into the arms of the one you love." And Usagi pops up like, "No, don't do that." And Chibi pulls into her, sending them both flying.
Yeah.
Back at the Juban field, Kyusuke bashes into the jumping box and hits the ground. As Jun says, "I'm telling you, it's all about the timing of the jump and the planning of your arms." And why are you slowing down right before the takeoff? We see Kyusuke try several more times and continue to fail. And Jun says, why do you get scared? I think we should call it a day. But Kyusuke says, I'm almost there. Look, my family runs a noodle house. I'll treat you later. I'll buy you 1,000,000 noodles. Please, I'm begging you. Jun says, well, the sun's already down. Let's meet tomorrow morning. I'll make you jump in no time. Get some sleep, and don't forget to take your vitamins. Wink.
Oh my God.
I mean steroids. Your PEDs.
Oh my God.
That night, Chibi is in her pajamas, and she's heading for bed at top speed. She's got a pic of Mamoru on her pillow. And she says, Mama-chan, catch me, as she leaps into bed face first.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been inured to how weird this show is.
Yeah, I feel like we have
Just
to.
through exposure.
Yes.
At this point.
Yes.
As she lifts her head from the pillow, we see she's got a Band-Aid on her face.
Yes.
From where she ran into her sister mom earlier. Again, I think that we don't think that this show is as weird as it is. Speaking of weird, the Pegasus phone rings, and Pegasus says, hey, what's up? And she says, oh, I was just doing some image training.
Yeah.
Which,
weird.
Again, maybe not as weird as the other things. I think she just means she's visualizing it. That's what we call it here.
Yes.
You know, she's going to see the ball, be the ball. She's doing it in her head, right?
Jump over the jumping box into Mamo's arms.
There's a thing in Dragon Ball where I think they had to eat up a bunch of episodes some time because it's Dragon Ball. And so there's a technique that I think Master Roshi teaches the Turtle School, which is just like, imagine in your head that you're fighting your opponent and it will be strenuous for you and it will make you better just by doing that. And that's a way to get Goku to fight Krillin or whatever without them actually fighting, you know, in real life. We can show it still. So anyway, God knows what she's doing in her head with her father, boyfriend.
She's visualizing that jump.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, speaking of visualizing, she slides her pic of Mamoru under her pillow surreptitiously, which, I mean, I could talk for an hour about how messed up that is.
Yeah, it's very messed up.
She is hiding a picture of her father / crush.
Yes.
/ virtual boyfriend.
Right.
From the ancient stalking being that has
Yes.
put a camera in her room.
Yes.
And demands that she talks to him whenever he wants.
It's very strange, and I am not okay with any of it. I know. No, I cringe.
That would be like if Buffalo Bill came down to throw some food down to you in the bucket and you hid your picture of Brad Pitt that you tore out of people.
Oh my God.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
It's so weird. It's so cringy. I cringed so much when that happened.
Chibi says, tomorrow's the big athletic meet, but I can't jump over the jumping box. I envy you, Pegasus. You can fly everywhere. Pegasus says, I wish that were true. Actually, there's some pretty specific restrictions on where I can go.
Oh my God.
She says, what? And he says, what? Actually, you can fly much freer than I can. And she says, I can't even jump a box. Pegasus says, you can do it. I know you can. Just then, Usagi calls her from downstairs. We see that Usagi's got a black eye and bandages on her face.
Yes.
She says, you're getting up early tomorrow. Ray and the others are going to help with your training. Stop texting Drake. And she hobbles off to bed. Chibi's like, okay, started from the bottom. Now I've got a loft apartment.
Oh my God.
The next morning, Kyusuke is back on the track, throwing himself again and again at the jumping box. We see the inside of a classroom, and on the blackboard it says, let's win. White team? Interesting. Interesting. The most privileged team.
Oh my God.
They always win. They always win.
Oh
It's
my
weird.
God. For some reason, lots of times for a sports day, that's like white team and red team.
Red team.
Red team.
Okay.
I don't know why those are the two most common teams.
Japanese flag.
Maybe, perfect.
Some mysteries.
Yep. Some mysteries.
Quickly solved.
They're just solved easily. Yep. Okay.
Kyusuke cannot get over this box. And then Jun appears. She pulls a crumpled photo from her jeans pocket and frowns at it and then says, it is you. When I saw this photo before, I was like, huh? That's easy. She started this process not knowing that this was the target.
She was having fun.
It's literally, she takes this seriously.
Yeah.
She's like, look, I love killing little kids, but also, I'm big into acrobatics, gymnastics. This is my world, really.
That's right.
I can kill kids anytime,
Oh
but
my God.
we're doing this right now. This is crazy. She says, all right, come on, hurry up and let's get this over with. Let's get over this box. Kyusuke lines up, and June says, it's not that you're not athletic. You're just afraid of the box. I don't know what's up with that, but as long as you're afraid, you'll never be able to jump. Now, there's a quick way to get over that fear. And Kyusuke says, drugs? But June says, if there's an even scarier situation behind you, you'll forget about being afraid of the box and jump. She snaps her fingers, and a cage grows out of the ground all around them, trapping him in with the box. June passes through the bars of the cage behind him like the T-1000 and holds up a dead moon rug.
Yes.
It's not the color of any of the trio, though. So
no.
It's not like I found this old thing in the storage. It's like fish scales on it. She holds up this rug, and when she pulls it away, there's a bear in the cage.
Yeah.
A brown bear.
Uh-huh.
The worst bear.
Maybe a ninja bear. We don't know.
As the bear stands to its full height, Kyusuke screams, but June says, if you don't hurry, you'll be eaten. No, hey kids, don't try this at home message on this one, huh?
No,
okay.
no, this is perfectly kosher.
Interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of would-be sprinters heading out to the environs of the ninja bear. Come on, we gotta go train. We're gonna train. Kyusuke takes off with the bear hot on his heels, but when he reaches the jumping box, he does it. He vaults right over it.
Yes.
Screaming all the way.
Yeah, right.
When he hits the ground, he's overcome with a sense of accomplishment. Mm-hmm. But the bear! When he turns around, there is no bear. There is no cage. Just a tough chick from a number 6 sitcom who says, it was all just an illusion, but it worked wonders. Remember the only truth. There is no bear. Kyusuke is like, an illusion? You see, this is what I'm talking about. This is a lot for him to forget once he gets mirror roofied.
Yeah.
He's not going to pass out and forget the last 18 hours of his life, is he?
No.
He's going to wake up and be like, yeah, everybody's cheering. He's like, what happened?
I was terrified
Did I win the
by
race?
bear. Yeah, right.
What does he think? What's he going to think happened here?
Great question.
They have stopped trying to even explain that.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago, they were like, oh, boy, we sure are tired, but or something like that.
Yeah, I know. But they give up on it pretty easily.
Yeah. I know that they know that this is a world of superheroes, but if everybody knew that there were murderous circus performers in the middle of town that they can now see that live in this MC Escher-esque floating big top, you think somebody would do something?
You would think so. And you also would think that people would stop going to the circus because people get attacked when they go there.
Well, it just happened that one time. But it should be happening all the time.
It should be happening all the time.
Everybody should go to the circus, wake up in an alleyway.
Yeah.
If they wake up at all.
Yes.
Because we saw what happened with the dentist's office.
I know.
It's just like a pile of bodies. When they destroyed the dentist office, 1 million mirrors should have flown out.
They should have. We should have seen the mirrors.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know how long a body can live without a mirror.
It's a good question. I don't know if we
haven't explored that.
About that.
Thank God.
Yeah.
That's one of the kids comes back. They're just like a zombie. They're the villain now. They're like a blank-eyed zombie because they have no dreams. They're like, the only way to stop this person is to find their mirror. There's your movie idea.
Oh, okay,
the
sure.
Supers movie. You forgot to give me my mirror back.
And so I have to
lost my dream.
I have to take other people's dreams.
Yes.
Yes.
Taking other people's dreams.
Yeah.
I like this.
Let's see that.
All right, we got to cut this out.
Okay.
All right. We'll work on this on our own.
All right, sounds good.
June says, hey, it worked, right? And Kyusuke says, yeah, it worked. I thought I was Bear Chow. You're cruel. And June is like, you're all right. You jumped after all. Now you have no regrets, right? So let's go. She does her ball trick, and she's in her circus togs. And Kyusuke just stands there because he's meeting a steroid guy later. And June lines up her colliding ball and wham! Knocks out Kyusuke's mirror. But alas, Charlie, it's not a golden mirror.
Yeah, let him sleep. Let him have one last dream.
June is like, what? But we hear Moon Crisis Makeup! Mercury Crystal Power, Mars Crystal Power, Jupiter Crystal Power, Venus Crystal Power, Makeup! Mm-hmm. And we get a big 5-way transform like this show is 3 years younger.
Yes.
Is Tuxedo Mask ever going to transform with them?
That would be great,
Or as
actually.
soon as one of them screams, he's like, oh, time to sneak off and start climbing.
I wish he would transform with them.
Right.
That would be cool.
I think we haven't seen the newspapers. We haven't seen them in the media recently.
No.
But I think the people know that they're associated, right?
I think so,
Yeah.
yes. Definitely.
You know, he used to be a jewel thief, but he saved me. I was going to get hit by a car, and
Yeah.
he threw a rose, and the car exploded. And,
of course it did.
Thanks, Tuxedo Mask.
Thanks, Tuxedo Mask.
Sirens in the background. Hold it right there. Here we came in hopes of having a special practice. What are you doing here? You're causing a nuisance to the neighborhood so early in the morning. In the name of the moon, we'll punish you. June says, you really do show up everywhere. Come forth, my lemur, dream-eating acrobat, Tobikiri Yaru.
Yeah.
Out of her shadow arises Furry Liberace. There's nothing else to say.
Oh my God.
But he's got a fur pink cape. You know, maybe it's like cashmere or something like that. And they're kind of like wings, that go like a flying squirrel in between his legs and arms.
Too.
Yeah. And he's got a purple tail, harlequin-like horns, and his body is an animal's face.
Yes.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I don't have
an
anything
animal's
else
face
to say.
for a body. He says, welcome. You want to see my tricks? You have good taste. But first... And his tail starts spinning like a propeller.
Yes.
Like Miles Prower.
Who's Miles Prower?
Tails from Sonic.
Oh.
Well, this is just Tail.
Okay, got it.
And he flies over to Kyusuke's dream mirror, and his body mouth eats it. I said that. We don't think that this show is weird, because we've watched a lot of it at this point. Yeah.
His body mouth eats the mirror.
I gotta feed my body mouth.
Oh my God.
June
So
says, now that you've eaten, you weirdo, it's time to finish the job. And he flies at the Senshi. Mars cues up Flame Sniper, but Yaru flies by them so fast that her flames are blown back into her, singeing her like a Looney Tunes character.
Yeah.
Her beak just falls to the ground and says, what a revolting development. As he loops around, Yaru says, how do you like my tricks? Here's another one. And he dive bombs the Senshi, sending them flying. Jupiter tries her attack, but before she can begin, Yaru buzzes her, saying, I don't have time for that. June chuckles and says, Tobikiri Yaru, or exceptional guy, is more like Tondakiri Yaru, which means jump and that's it, guy. The Japanese. The masters of wordplay.
Yes.
No one laughs. June says, stick to acrobating, June. June says, I'm trusting you to finish them off. And Yaru continues to harry the Senshi. Chibi thinks, if we can't stop him, Kyusuke's dreams. It's now or never. And she gets up. Yaru says, it's time for my final trick. And he heads right for the sailor soldiers. But Chibi, arms out, starts running for him. And appropriately, R. Kelly begins to play.
No!
As she runs, she remembers Pegasus's words. Don't tell your parents about this.
Oh
no.
my God, no.
Oh, you can fly.
Oh my God.
She meets Yaru in midair and vaults over his head, sending him into the ground. The Senshi are amazed, and Chibi says, now, Sailor Moon. Chibi raises her Carillon, and with a twinkle yell, summons Pegasus. Pegasus says, as an athlete myself, I am against performance-enhancing drugs, or PEDs, and the organizations that sell them. Yes, I am against PEDO, or pedos. I want that on the record.
Oh my God.
That was a long walk for four legs. Sailor Moon gives with the MGM, and Yaru does his last trick. Kyusuke's mirror is released and returns to him, and Sailor Moon tells Chibi, you did it. Mm-hmm. Later at Big Athletic Meet, the starter pistol goes off to kill the meat, of course.
Of course.
Launching the race, and Chibi runs at top speed as the squad cheers her on from the stands. She effortlessly vaults over the jumping box and wins first place, thanks to determination. And those vitamins she got from Kyusuke.
Oh no.
Momo's there.
Yes.
For some reason.
Yes, she is.
And I think you get ribbons for winning, because she and Chibi and Kyusuke have like ribbons all over their shirts.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
We see a bent pole and a sign on it saying, will the student that bent this pole please turn yourself in? The principal.
I didn't notice that.
I don't remember in the fight if somebody ran into the pole. I don't know how the pole got bent.
I don't know either.
There's a sign that says
That's
that.
so funny.
And the boys' obstacle course is announced. Chibi tells Kyusuke, give him hell. And as the pistol fires, Kyusuke leaves them all behind, hurtling towards his nemesis, the jumping box.
That's right.
Thinking,
I'm not afraid anymore. Do you hear me? I'm not afraid anymore.
he launches over the box and into first place.
Yes.
And that's the end.
That is the end.
That's it.
Yeah.
This was like 11 minutes eye catch. And
Yeah.
then coming back, little, how about a flashback? Pad that out. And then it's
Yeah.
like, hey, 5-way transform. Let's see, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Don't mind if we do.
Yeah, I know. There's just a lot of padding, a lot of
Not-
filling it out.
Not a ton of content in this one.
No.
So here's a question. Do
Yes.
I know this isn't true, but just for this episode, does she have to help them complete the dream to harvest it? Didn't one
No,
of us,
I don't think so.
or I think one of our listeners in the Discord suggested that, wouldn't it be like,
It would be more interesting.
like I'm Fish, you're a fashion designer, I'm going to become your muse, you're going to see your dreams realized, but also I'm going to pervert them and make them frustrate, and they're going to curdle for you.
Yeah.
And then, mia piace, that's the tasty dream, and I take it.
Well, I think that
Right?
would be way more interesting than what we get.
They accidentally do that in this episode.
They do accidentally
For no
do
good
that.
reason, she's like, I'm going to take this kid under my wing. And then
Yeah.
she's like, you're going to die, kid. Like, thanks for your dream. But it's like, now the dream is ripe.
Yes.
Once he's achieved the dream,
Yeah, that's very true.
this is when you eat the dream.
If you're going for the
Or
right
your lemur's
deliciousness.
body mouth does.
Oh my god. Yeah.
That would be it.
That would be it. You're right.
And this is a relatable dream, I think, too. Because, like, for kids can have dreams,
Of course.
I guess. But kids' dreams are often just motivated by what they understand of the world. And especially when they're a little young, but even when you're this age, your peers.
Yes.
And their perception of you.
Yes.
And so he's motivated by the fact that he feels emasculated by this jumping box.
By the jumping box.
Damn, you jumping box.
Yes.
And he sees his friends' reactions to like, this kid going with a jumping box?
Yeah.
That's a very real thing.
It is a very real
That's
thing. for
not
sure.
like, I want to be an astronaut in the Candy Nebula. Well, fine, whatever.
Right.
Or like, I like riding horses, and sometimes I like sexy men. Oh no, my mirror or whatever.
Right. It's an actually obtainable goal
This is
for
kind
a
of
young
grounded
kid.
for this show,
Yes.
where a little girl wants to date her dad, and a magic horse is trying to get in her pants.
Oh my god, gross.
I like that this is relatable.
I like that it's relatable too.
I think that
that's
Sailor Moon
one
has
of the
strayed
best
from
parts of it.
relatability the longer it's gone on, and maybe that's
Yeah.
just a feature, not a bug.
And I like that both Jun and the Senshi are coaching the kids on how to do the jumping box or vault or
I like
whatever.
that. Well, this is another arrow in the quiver of the Mako problem, but
The Mako problem.
magical, extra-dimensional jump off a building, do a flip, superhero landing,
Yeah.
evil acrobat. Her advice is the exact same advice as super capable, does everything
Yeah.
great, a normal human. Well, human with a strength of 10 girls her size.
And a lot of talent. Don't forget that.
Right. So, yeah, it's just like, it's the same advice, which is
Yeah.
like, I don't think they meant it this way, but it's an authorial bump for, not authorial. It's an author. It's an authorial bump in authority for the fact that Mako is perfect and can do everything perfectly.
Yeah.
Because a space gymnast is like, her advice is with the arms and the jump in the vault, and Mako's like, I think it's like the arms and the jump in the vault. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't know these things. I just got natural talent.
I know.
Boing.
But Jun also has the bear. So
Oh no,
there's some actual terror
you don't know
there.
that Mako didn't have a bear. Mako's like, come on, do it again. What's that growling? Do it again, you won't find out.
I have a question for you. Do you think that Junjun turned into the bear, or was the bear just like a completely different illusion? Because
we have no idea what these girls' powers are.
No.
Whether she summoned like a, they've got a spirit circus full of things.
True.
Maybe she could just port a bear in.
Sure.
But she says it's an illusion. I believe her.
Yeah.
But God knows what all their powers are.
All of you relax. This is a matter of inconvenient timing, that's all. Rebooting the podcast was inevitable. This is simply the beginning. I thought I told all of you I want broadcast silence until further...
Ooh, I'm very sorry, Cal. I didn't get that message. Maybe you should have put it on Twitter. I figured since you were relaunching the Just Enough Trope podcast, you might be a little lonely, so I decided to be your co-host.
That's very kind of you. I assume you're our mysterious podcaster. You're most troublesome for a Sailor Moon fan?
Sorry, Cal. Wrong guess. Would you like to go for an all-new show where the hosts haven't really changed?
Who are you, then?
Just a fly in the ointment, Cal. The dye in the hard. The moon and the lighting.
She's talking about the rebooted Just Enough Trope, where we'll dive deep into the pop culture elements that make up your favorite movies, TV shows, comics, and video games. See if she's lying about moonlighting and find out if Bruno is returned.
No, respect yourself.
Miss Mystery Guest, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Unless you want to sing a duet with me.
No, I'm afraid not. But you have me at a loss. You know my name, but who are you? Just another podcast host who saw too many movies as a child? Another orphan of a bankrupt culture who thinks she's John McClane, Corbin Dallas, a crooning Alcopop pitchman?
I was always kind of partial to Seagram's Golden Wine Cooler, actually. It's wet and it's dry.
Do you really think you have a chance with this new show, Ms. Co-Host?
Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Cooler.
Just Enough Trope, 40 stories of sheer pop culture deconstruction. Available everywhere you listen to your favorite shows.
Do I sound like I'm ordering a podcast?
Today for Kyoro Kyoromiru, or Curiously Looking Around, where we talk about elements of Japanese culture within the episode, today we're going to be talking about pole vaulting in Japan.
Huh.
So we're going to be talking about pole vaulting through friendship, creating local poles, and genitals getting in the way of victory.
All right.
Yep.
Best for last.
Best for laughs.
You're not going to tell me that, like, samurai would take their spears and... right? This is like... a Western thing.
It is a Western thing, as far as I can tell. Although they did, originally in Japan, when they did start doing pole vaulting, they used a lot of bamboo poles.
Sure.
And, that's pretty easy to find.
Everything that's famous, well, I'm just going to say, A is A, but like everything that's famous is attractive. Mm-hmm. But in a meme-y kind of way. I don't mean meme like...
Meme kind of way?
Well, first of all, I don't mean is it a character on the Drew Carey Show?
The Drew Carey Show?
And
That's
also
what
on
I was
Sex
thinking.
Education. How many memes do you know?
Yeah.
But I mean like a meme, M-E-M-E.
Oh, okay.
I'm in a glass case of emotion. The idea that like an idea can be very popular, it can disseminate, and then continue and propagate past its point of origin.
Sure.
Religion's a meme. Language is a meme.
Sure.
That's true. But some guy in Europe, I'm guessing, came up with using a pole to vault over something.
Right.
Actually, like a caber toss. And who are the people that... You're going over canals, maybe, right? It had to be
maybe.
Europe, somewhere in Europe.
Yeah.
And then you go, welcome to the international community, Japan. And they go, great, what do you got? And you go, you see this pole vaulting?
Yeah.
The first couple things you got to be like, white people.
Yeah, right.
But after a while, you're like, no, there's something cool.
Something
There's
to
something
this.
about that.
Yeah.
It can't just be, no, we need to compete internationally. Get the poles. We're going to learn to do this stupid pole vaulting.
No, right.
You must look
right.
at it and go, there's something beautiful about it. There's something graceful.
Mesmerizing.
Yeah. And then you start doing it too, and then suddenly it's just your thing too.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a meme.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's a meme. Pole vaulting has been an individual sport since its formation in the mid-19th century. In the summer of 1936, during the Summer Olympics events in Berlin, the sport became about team spirit. 5.
That's one of the things the 36 Berlin Olympics was about.
Yeah, I know.
That's one of the things.
That's one of the things. 5 pole vaulters remained after going over a height of 4 meters and 15 centimeters.
I'm American. How big is that?
I should have done that, and I didn't do
feet,
that.
Right?
Something like that.
Yeah, all right.
3 American contenders, Earl Meadows, William Bill Sefton, William Bill Graber, 2 Bills, and 2 Japanese contenders, Shuhei Nishida and Sueo Oe. 2 of the Americans went first, with Graber failing to go over the 4 meters, 25 centimeters in his 3 allotted attempts. So you got 3 attempts. Meadows was not only able to go over 4 meters, 25 centimeters, but also 4 meters, 35 centimeters, a height that Sefton, Nishida, and Oe were unsuccessful in clearing, so Meadows took the gold medal. The remaining 3 were left to duke it out for who would win silver and bronze. All 3 cleared the 4 meters, 25 centimeters, so they had an extra vault as a tiebreaker. Sefton was not able to go over the bar, while both Nishida and Oe were able to. So the competition appeared to be decided until everyone registered that there were no rules in place for which of the 2 Olympians would get what medal.
There's no rules that say that a kangaroo can't pole vault.
Yeah, right. So both cleared 4 meters, 25 centimeters, and neither were able to do what Meadows did, leaving them to have succeeded with the exact same achievement. The Olympics Committee at the time did not have a regulation in place to decide what would separate 2 athletes in such an infrequent situation. Both Nishida and Oe refused to compete in another round of jumps. Instead, they wanted to share the honors. But so when that was not permitted, sharing the honors, the Japanese team came to a decision together after much consideration that Nishida would take the silver and Oe the bronze, as the former vaulted the 4 meters, 25 centimeters in his first attempt, while the latter needed 2 attempts.
Okay. And it wouldn't be for them, but it was alphabetical too.
Yeah, yeah, right. Nishida.
Thank God that both of the bills didn't tie.
Yeah, right.
We'd be here all day.
I know. Nishida and Oe participated in the award ceremony, but neither were particularly happy with the situation. They weren't. They felt that each of them being awarded 1 medal was not emblematic of the circumstances of the games, and as friends who had respect for one another, they took the situation into their own hands. In Japan, the 2 decided to physically split the medals into 2 and merge 1/2 of the silver medal and 1/2 of the bronze medal, creating 2 silver-bronze medals. What is now known as medals of friendship. Yes, exactly.
Olympic best friends.
That's right. Are what Nishida and Oe felt were more indicative of their accomplishments at the games. I mean, I totally get it. Like, you feel like you guys tied, you know, and like you both got silver and you both got bronze, you know. I think this was a cool thing. The situation was unique in that it had never happened prior to 1936, nor would it ever happen again due to the regulation alteration.
Immediately changed that rule.
Yes.
We don't want anybody cutting their medals in half.
Exactly. It became official that the vaulter with the least attempts would place higher, which made the medals of friendship the only 2 of their kind.
The Olympic Games been around for like 50 years at that point.
Yeah.
At least in the modern incarnation.
Yes.
Are there any rules for that? It's never happened before?
Not for pole vaulting.
Especially, it's not a individual achievement. It's a specific, well, it is an achievement, but I'm just saying it's specifically an achievement that is set by the conditions of the event.
Yes.
So it isn't like I ran this fast and it was timed here, and that guy ran this fast. He's a half second behind, if they can measure that back then. I'm sure they had some way. And so I'm faster, I win. You're literally saying we've now set the bar to this high.
Yes, this
so
is how high
everybody
this
blows
bar
it,
is.
I guess we go down a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. But if they both hit it at the same time, and there's not going to be any more,
yeah,
you have to have a rule for that.
I know.
Well, I guess when they come up,
so
put
these
little fires out.
Yeah, I mean, so they decided afterwards that the person with the least amount of attempts would get a higher
So by
score.
36, they're already competing in the pole vault in the Olympic Games.
Yes.
Was it the first year that they were pole vaulting?
That is a really good question. I know it is the only time that the Japanese have medaled in pole vaulting, so I'm not sure when they started competing in it or not, but there aren't any other medals for Japan.
They're all too ashamed to there's no way that we could find ourselves in that situation again.
I guess. I
would never
don't know.
want to unjustly take a medal from my comrade.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's interesting too because Oe, he actually died fighting in World War II in 1941, so just a few years later.
What?
Yeah.
So the other guys just got his half of the medal.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. And Oe kept his medal in private hands. However, Nishida, who died in 1997 due to heart failure, had his medal held by his alma mater, Waseda University in Tokyo, which still is there today.
So the one guy, this is a movie.
Yeah.
Only you'd have to have the one guy dies and another 50 years of the guy by himself.
Yeah, right.
That's the really famous star. Then the other, the character actor will be the guy that dies in World War II. So we don't.
We can make this work.
Yeah, but then he's got a wife, and she's hot.
Yeah. Oh God.
This is why Hollywood is terrible, because it's dumb people like us coming up with this stuff, and then nobody going, "That's dumb."
Okay, but sometimes you need to come up with dumb stuff.
What if there is a little guy with hairy feet? He's a hobbit.
Yes.
And he gets this ring, and he's going to go through all kinds of adventures. He's not going to know what he's doing.
Right.
And then he's going to get there, and he's going to go I don't want to do it. And then Frogman's going to bite his finger off. Now, nobody would think of that. And if they did, they'd go, no. The hot guy with the long hair and the cool sword, he's going to win this whole thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's what we would say.
Yes.
And that's what people who are even dumber than we are in Hollywood would say. That's why we need artists and creative people to do this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I'd like to turn somebody who is a very good writer loose on this story and see what they can come up with.
I like this idea.
And then also because I guess either way, if it's a Japanese or American thing, let's make it for the American market, but have it be a look and not a stereotyped look, but a look at the Japanese culture, but also Japanese culture of the pre-World War II era.
If we could get a Japanese writer.
We would want to do that for sure. And explain, not without explaining, but through the story, show why they would do something like this.
Yes.
Because if it was two Americans or two Germans or whatever,
it wouldn't be the same.
They wouldn't have done that.
No, they wouldn't have.
No.
And I think that's really important. There's a sense of camaraderie.
I want to write this down.
You want to write it?
I'll write it. and the wife, she's got big
Oh my God, lots of talent.
That's how Hollywood thinks.
Yes. When junior high school student Osamu Takeda saw a pole vaulter at the track and field competition for the first time, he found himself in awe. On an early summer day 25 years ago, Takeda was sitting in the stands at an athletic field as a member of the cheering squad for his peers on the track and field club. He saw another student around his age jumping more than 4 meters into the air with a pole vault. Takeda pleaded with the club supervisor that he wanted to try pole vaulting. The advisor then gave him a bamboo pole. So Takeda spread out a mat on a sand pit and turned it into a place to train every day until dark. Takeda continued until college, but he never competed at a national level. He wrote his college graduation thesis on biomechanics of pole vaulting. Yes.
And the inclusion of bears
in
training regimens.
Exactly. While he also joined a group in charge of motion analysis at the Japan Association of Athletics Federations. Takeda believes that pole vaulting is the most captivating sport in track and field because it allows a human being to be suspended in the air with the use of just a single pole.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's I don't know what this is. This just works.
Yes, exactly. Takeda felt frustrated by the fact that all poles commercially available in Japan were made overseas. They are overpriced because they are brought by ship, and a typical 4-meter-long pole could cost around 100,000 yen. That's around 880 USD.
Oof.
Yep.
Go out to the woods.
Yes. Since they are not easily replaceable, school club members have to share the same pole with their peers, and it is not uncommon for older poles to break while they are being used, which is also not great. Because you don't want the athletes to get hurt at all. Takeda wanted to make it easier for the number of pole vaulters to increase in Japan, so he began attempting to make his own poles. 10 years ago, he got a job in research organization at his former university in support of athletes with equipment. After gaining knowledge in tool making, he began developing poles in 2019. In a camp training site on the university grounds, he held a blowtorch in one hand and a vaulting pole he bought for 100,000 yen, around 668 USD, to compete in masters meets in the other hand. So he was determined to learn about the components within this pole, so he broke it open with a blowtorch. The researcher also conducted a series of experiments to see how flexible and strong his prototypes were. In July 2022, Takeda released domestically produced vaulting poles for the first time. They are not only cheaper than foreign-made poles, but by almost 300,000 yen, around $200 USD. They are also good for beginners because they are light and pole vaulters can glide on the pole more easily. He also prepared shorter poles that are easier for elementary school students to use because foreign-made poles are in short supply. So, and since all of this, one junior high school student broke her own record by 30 centimeters after she started using Takeda's pole, while another junior high student was delighted after his school bought one that was suitable for his height. So, because, sometimes you just have a couple of poles and that's what you got.
It's all in the pole.
That's right. In 2016, Japanese pole vaulter competitor Hiroki Ogita became a viral sensation when video and screenshots posted on social media appeared to show his penis dislodging the crossbar. Yeah.
It writes, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Exactly.
He said. But he did.
He did. Ogita failed to qualify for Tuesday's pole vault final at Rio de Janeiro Olympics, even after clearing 5.45 meters on his second attempt. And I want to preface that, I feel like at first he was trying to make the most of this, but he got a little salty. So, quote, "I never expected the foreign media to take me down like this," end quote. The Japanese national...
Taking down is a big part of this story.
Yeah, apparently. The Japanese national pole vault champion tweeted, according to a BBC translation, quote, "It's one thing if it was true, but I have to say I'm pretty devastated that they go so far to make something up to mock and ridicule me so much."
Seems like a compliment.
Yeah, I know. He didn't see it that way.
What are you worried about?
Yeah. True enough, all one has to do is watch the video of his attempt to determine that Ogita's leg first made contact with the crossbar and then his hand until ultimately toppled it down. In the end, whether or not his penis touched the bar is beside the point. Ogita said, quote, Ogita said, quote, "I have a lot of things to report. I've changed my account name and therefore lost my blue tick. I didn't think I'd get hassled this much by foreign media. I'm shocked that this false information would be found amusing and spoken ill of so much," he said in a Twitter post on August 17th, 2016.
This is a lot to roll with, I guess.
Yes.
I don't want to put it towards his Japanese circumspection. And I did say circumspection.
Yes, you did.
Maybe if he'd had a circumcision, he would have knocked the pole down.
Oh my God.
But that's the kind of thing I'm talking about.
I know.
I think you can only take so much. There's something weird about our media poisoned culture in America that I think that you would just, let's say, ride this all the way to the top.
Yeah.
And you'd appear on Dancing with the Stars and you would do a limbo dance because it's a joke. Right?
Yes.
But I think he probably was like, yeah, all right. And then his all right bar went down to zero. And he's like, all right, I'm done being all right. Please stop talking about this. I'm changing my screen name.
Yes.
Screw you.
Exactly. That's it. Exactly. I think he originally was like, okay, this could be an opportunity, haha, yes. But yeah. So The Japan Association of Athletics Federation was angry that this became a news story.
Oh, come on.
Quote, "We're disappointed by the way this is being portrayed in the media," the spokesperson told CNN. Quote, it's important to remember that a foul is announced when a person's body hits the bar. In the sporting world, we don't concern ourselves over what part." End quote.
Right, but, that's missing the trees for the forest.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Like, you're going to pretend like this isn't funny.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
No, you can't.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
You just got to be like, all right, yeah, we got it.
And there were so many stories about this in so many different publications. This happened in 2016, but you just look up Japan pole vaulting. It comes
the first thing that comes up.
It comes up. I don't know if it beats the Medal of Friendship, but it's up there, man. So you want to talk about your memes and your viral stuff?
Yeah.
This is it.
He's the second biggest story. He'll have to split his story with the third biggest story.
Oh my God.
I mean, all that is good press, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
You don't get the medal, but you get back to the Olympic Village, and you got some dates,
right? As long as you can laugh about it.
Look, I feel bad for this guy. I am going to laugh at him. I am going to laugh at him, but I do feel bad.
I feel bad too, but it is funny.
It's a lot to have to sort of deal with.
It's a lot on a main stage. So
do you get oh, my boobs knocked the bar down in women's pole vaulting?
Maybe.
There's the women's pole. Makoto gets out there.
Watch out for her talent.
She's never gonna make it. I don't know if she's getting off the ground.
Oh my God.
I don't know anything about pole vaulting. I know a little bit about track and field.
Either.
And I don't know why. I guess I had friends that were in track and field, but I never knew any pole vaulters.
No, we did a track and field unit in high school and junior high, but yeah, there was no pole vaulting. Where there were hurdles, which I was not good at.
Yeah. But I suppose there's got to be, obviously, people of different sizes can do it.
Yeah.
And so, in different weights, you probably want to be lower weight to make it work.
I would think so.
But that would mean that there are probably different lengths within a certain range of pole that you could use, or maybe materials.
Yes.
It's like picking the golf club,
Yeah.
I'm going to use the 5 for this.
Yes.
Or whatever, yeah.
I think so.
So, you got to use... the right side. No, I'm sorry. I'm just coming up with new jokes. If you want to say something,
you don't need to hold it back.
You want to say something real?
No.
Go ahead.
You go right ahead.
I'll just cook another joke about what the pole's made of. But,
yeah, it's titanium. Sometimes. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Are they doing this in the morning or is it later in the day?
I don't know.
It is pretty incredible, though, and now with
what?
I'm not going to name him because he is a nice guy, but man, he is kind of a goof. But I know an author, and he's famous. Mm-hmm. If you're into sci-fi, I think you know his name.
Yeah.
And he sometimes we're friends on Facebook, and he posts things that are just like, oh, guy, come on. He posts he just uses Facebook like Ask Jeeves, and he just says hey, what about this? What about this? And he had a recent post where he's like, anybody, any doctor friends or anybody know about this electro-muscle stimulation thing?
What?
Because he's like, I'm getting to the age where I don't think I can go to the gym as much as I want to, but I don't want to, have it all go to seed. So I'm willing to, seem like a lazy piece of crap if I can keep my muscle tone. He wants to get the electro-muscle stimulation.
Oh.
Now, I don't think that is used to make yourself,
muscular?
A hunk of burning flesh or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's used in therapy.
Sure.
Theoretically, I suppose you could use it if you were a professional bodybuilder and it wasn't illegal. They have a lot of rules too.
Yeah, that's true.
Or if just for some reason you were, say, a rich author with a lot of time on your hands, you want to try to work out your muscles without going to the gym.
Right.
What it's often used for in sports medicine is for if somebody has a strain or a dislocation or something, dislocation, but has some kind of injury And you can't work it out because you can't move it.
Yeah.
But you can stimulate electrically the muscles for them to kind of do work on their own, and it'll strengthen the muscles around the site that's hurt and sort of isolate it. But I've not heard of just, to stick those things on my abs.
That's
and turn
weird.
on the juice
No,
and I'll just,
I haven't heard of that either. That's funny.
So sometimes sci-fi authors, they see the world that we should have. But not the world that exists.
This electric wire should be able to give me muscles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wrap that extension cord around my biceps.
Oh my God.
Hit the juice.
Itadakimasu with Usagi. What did Usagi eat in this episode? Usagi says that she's looking forward to Mako's delicious box lunches for sports day. Kyusuke says to Junjun that if she's hungry, we run a noodle place. I'm assuming that that's his family. And
we talked about that in the vampire episode, didn't they?
Did he?
I thought we knew that before. Maybe you told me that before.
I know Momo's family supposedly runs a Chinese restaurant. I didn't know his family owned a noodle place too.
This is a spinoff.
Yeah, right?
This is like a Food Wars prequel.
Yeah. Food War babies.
Oh, God.
Speaking of...
Think of what you're talking about.
I know. Well, you're right. That is kind of gross. I heard...
Food War babies would be the sequel.
I did hear that Dragon Ball is going to have another series, and it's going to be basically Dragon Ball Muppet babies.
They're all babies.
I know.
Again.
I know.
You already did that.
Did they?
Yes.
Why
Dragon Ball GT. That's the whole plot of Dragon Ball GT.
Why are you doing it
Goku
again?
is... Well, Goku's like 25 because he spent 50 years dead. But time has moved on, right? Chibi...
Yes.
Chibi. It's not Chibi. Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi is, old. She's keeping it together, but she's old. I think the Ox King's dead, or at least he's in the home. And the Turtle Hermit, I don't know, man. He's got ancient Chinese secrets, so he's probably still around.
Sure.
But everybody's old. Like Trunks is, married, and Gohan's married at this point, and Gohan has a kid named Pan. So
Pan.
Yeah.
So bread.
Right. No,
okay.
that's how we do
it.
it.
I know.
And so Goku is her grandpa, and he still looks 25. No, it might be his alien physiognomy. It might be the dead thing. And then Pilaf, his old nemesis.
Oh my God.
From Dragon Ball.
Pilaf.
Yeah, it's all food.
I know.
He's super old. And he's like, I hate that Goku. He's ruined all my plans for world domination over the years. And so he finds a way to summon Super Shenlong with the black Galaxy Dragon Balls.
Okay.
So when you wish on them, they can do a super powerful wish. And then they split across the galaxy.
Oh, no.
Not just across a planet.
Okay.
And so he gets them all together. And I don't remember... it's a long-standing thing of like somebody yelling out the wrong thing at the time that you want the wish.
Sure.
Panties was, I think, the first instance of that.
Okay.
But somebody says something, or he says like, I want him to be, my nemesis will be, and then Goku runs up and somehow he says like a little kid. So then Goku gets turned into a little kid.
Okay.
So it's a way to like continue the story of the Dragon Ball universe, but get back to the fun like, oh, I'm swimming without pants on adventures of the original Dragon Ball.
Okay.
People hated it.
So why are they
he gets on
again?
a spaceship with Pan
Yeah.
and with the adult Trunks, and they're gonna fly around the galaxy looking for the Dragon Balls and get into like more kid-friendly giant dinosaur adventures than like punchy adventures.
Right.
The show does about 15, 20 episodes. People don't like it.
Yeah.
And so they bring Toriyama back and they go, do your magic. And he goes, Super Saiyan before you turn into a purple monkey man.
Oh my God.
And then Vegeta comes back and he gets possessed by Baby. Because what's worse than a kid? Baby. So he gets possessed by the evil bad guy. And so now it's Vegeta versus Goku.
Okay.
Fighting again.
Right. Okay.
And people like that more.
Okay.
So they already did this, but now they're all going to be babies.
Yeah. Now they're all going to be babies, which I just don't understand.
Well, I showed you the math.
Yeah, I know.
Mr.
But they don't
Policeman,
like
I gave you all the clues.
But you also said people didn't like that, so that makes me wonder, why do they want to do it then?
Well, if they can afford to get through half a series that nobody likes, then they'll shift into the series that everybody does like, where they're punching gods.
All right. Villain gauge, where you rate a baddie, 1 to 5 dark stars, 5 being the most wicked. The lemur in this episode is Tobikiri Yaro, the dream-eating acrobat. So all of Jun's lemurs are male. Kind of taking a note out of Fish's book there.
Yeah.
All their names end with Yaro, which, depending on the context, could mean something like guy or buddy, dude, or jerk, bastard, etc.
Oh.
So it could be somewhat negative too.
Oh, like
I'm not your buddy, guy. He's not your guy, friend. I'm not your friend, buddy.
So yeah, I think in the dub that I watched, they called him Tobikiri Dude.
Tobikiri Dude.
Yeah, so I don't know. His name meaning Tobikiri means to jump and slash at someone. It's not an onomatopoeia. It's just that's what that word means.
Okay.
So and he does that. His design, he has light blue skin, blonde hair, pointy teeth, large eyes with red lines above and below his eyes. He wears a purple shirt with a white jester collar with red balls at the end of each point. He has a red and white striped jester hat. He has the face of a large-looking rodent, possibly a squirrel, on his chest. And he has brown pants and purple shoes that have claws on them. And he has pink fabric that connects his arms to his legs. It appears to be purple on the backside. And it makes him look like he's a flying squirrel.
Yeah.
And he also has a purple tail. So we're up to his rating. His design is really creepy. He's a weird, multicolored flying squirrel who uses his tail as a propeller. I don't know what to tell you. He flies around really fast, and it's hard for the girls to do their attacks. I do like that Chibi vaults over him, and that is what stops him. But I don't really think we get a whole lot of time with him. So I'm going to give him 2 out of 5 dark stars.
Huh. 2 out of 5. I mean, I'd go 3 on this one.
Okay.
I think that he is there for a good amount of time. He just doesn't get to do as much as like a 4 or 5 lemur would get to do. But he's effective.
He is effective.
I like his personality, and I wish that we got to go a little more into it because he seems to have like this kind of, hey, check it out, roll up. I got some tricks. Check out my tricks. Yeah, I got all these things I'm going to do. Like, kind of a circus midway kind of personality, which I like. And it's another look where it's like they went hard on Jester.
Yes.
And then they gave it a twist,
yes.
which was Flying Squirrel.
Flying Squirrel.
Or maybe like a Tanuki or something. Because like when Mario becomes a raccoon in Super Mario.
He's a Tanuki.
He spins his raccoon tail around and flies around.
Okay. Huh.
When
interesting.
He picks up a leaf.
Picks up a leaf, and that's when he becomes a raccoon?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I was hoping you could decode that for me because I don't know.
Tanuki live in the woods. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, that works for me.
Yeah, okay.
And all those things I like. I don't know what's happening with the goofy Looney Tunes squirrel face.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it shoots out of his body and swallows the mirror. But otherwise, I think it's solid. I think that if he had gotten to hang around, if we'd gotten to him sooner, he could have maybe done some cooler things. I mean, he certainly keeps the Senshi at bay.
That's true. He does.
To give Chibi her moment to shine. And
yeah.
so anybody who is a stepping stone for Chibi is okay in my book. Give him 3 dark stars.
Okay. Take a bow or our rating and how our villains left the stage of life. He is in a mess. His feet are hanging in the air in front of his butt somehow. And he says, "Stage out, Desne? Sayonara!" So that's pretty good. I'm gonna actually give it a 4 out of 5.
Wow.
So because it's something we haven't really seen before.
That's true. That's gonna make me feel bad for giving him a 2.
Okay.
But I do think that it is better than I guess 2 is literally worse than average, but it's better than a lot of the ones we've had so far.
Yes.
It's certainly better than last week, and at least it is a interesting pose, and a pose that is continuing the continuity of his being vanquished by Chibi.
That's true.
He could have just sat back up.
Yeah.
Or tooched a sexy pose. That's a lot of them seem to do. I guess he's a guy lemur, so he doesn't do that. But he's still sort of like, completely crashed, the 5-point landing.
Right.
And it's just there with his legs over his head somehow.
Yeah, I know.
He's very flexible. He's an acrobat.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So yeah, I give him a 2.
All right, that sounds good. And now for our rating. I like when Kyusuke swings down from the sports day banner and then the screen says, "This is dangerous, do not imitate," and like everyone claps. I mean, way to give mixed messaging here, guys.
Right. Don't do this. You can't handle being this cool.
Yeah, exactly. I like that the Senshi say they will help train Chibiusa to vault. I also like that Usagi is the vaulting horse.
Yeah, right.
I also like that Junjun helps coach Kyusuke on how to vault, but it's strange that she's helping out a target so much. But I feel like we talked about this, like, she didn't realize he was the target until, like, later.
Yeah, which
is
do
kind of
something
interesting.
with that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't like that Chibi wiggles her butt after supposedly jumping into Mamo's arms in her bed doing image training.
I didn't bring up the butt wiggle because I just didn't know what to say about it.
I'm horrified. That's what I have to say about it.
I don't. Let's talk about it right now.
Okay.
What's up with the butt wiggle?
I mean, that's it.
Is
that
she
means
excited?
It's excited. Yeah.
Is she fresh? Because she lifts her head up and she's got an expression like, is it frustration? She's like, "Ugh."
I think she's excited. And I don't like it.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't bring it up.
Okay, I'm sorry I brought it up. Yeah. And I also don't like that her face turns bright red when Pegasus asks her what she's doing. Like she's cheating on him or something. I'm sorry. I don't like it.
What's going on here?
Yeah. And then like the whole bear thing to scare Kyusuke to vault, that was terrifying. I like that Chibi vaults over the lemur and that is what stops him. This is the type of episode that I think about when I think about filler episodes. Like, I don't feel like this is a really good filler episode. I will go to bat for some filler episodes. I don't think this is one of them. And I'm torn. Because I do think there are some really good things that I liked about this episode. I think I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 roses. I almost gave it a 1. I like the Junjun moments in it. I like that they're training them and coaching kids to overcome their fears. So for those reasons, I'm going to give it 2 roses.
Well, interesting. I would give it a 3.
Really?
And I would hesitate to back this fully, but the phrase return to form comes to mind.
Really?
A little bit.
Okay.
After, it's like when a show you're watching, let's say Supernatural.
It's just an easy one to. Sorry.
Somewhere in the 9th. Let's say The Simpsons. You're in the 27th season of The Simpsons.
Yep.
And it's just like every gag is the lamest gag possible. And they don't know they're not funny. So they go on as long as they possibly can.
Yes.
And there's a lot of like topical references, but not in the sort of offhanded way that classic Simpsons would handle it. Not great.
Yes.
And then they do one and it's like, what happened? Did you ask, one of the old writers back or something? Is Dana Gould on this thing? What's going on? Like, why is this funny and like sharp? This isn't quite that. There are still points where it's like, why didn't you do that? And that's a missed opportunity. And there are things that I think they are used to doing because of fatigue. Because and it's so ironic in a show where they literally play like the same 5 minutes of animation over and over again every episode. But there's things that they just don't do anymore because they've done them a lot. Yeah. And we just expect it. And so to have the girls be studying for a test, remember that?
Yeah, I remember
having
that.
the girls be in school and then they're all into a new fad. And then the fad turns out to be run by a monster.
Right.
And then some girls get their energy sucked out. And then Usagi's like, what's going on? Oh, I wasn't even paying attention. Oh, moon this. And like when they win and then she eats something and like they get that they can't do that anymore. Or at least they feel like they can't. And so they've been going down all these weird paths and like these weird kind of oxbows, I think, trying to find something new to do. And this was, you call it a filler episode. I call it like returning to form. This is them going, there's a specific thing. And because there's a target that's not part of, the squad, we're going to bring a character in that we know. it's Kyusuke this time.
Yep.
And we pursue it. You got a villain that's part of the group that we haven't seen yet, and I think that's cool that we get to see more of Junjun.
I do too.
Junjun has a weird relationship with the target. I always like when that happens,
Yes.
although they don't exploit it enough.
No.
And then it's a personal triumph and struggle for him, and then we get, Chibi's paralleling that in her own
That's
way.
true.
And I think that's interesting. And there's a lot of good animation in this episode. I thought this episode was really well animated. Just in terms of like trying things, putting anime stuff in there, making it goofy, making it, elastic and sort of kinetic. I have to give it credit for that. Bringing Kyusuke, maybe they don't always have to be a unit, but bringing Kyusuke in and just having Momo show up at the end, I was really disappointed by.
Yeah.
And then also, I can't believe I'm saying this, but just say that Diana's, at cat preschool or something like that. At the very end when they're in the stands, Luna and Artemis are there, and then Diana's sitting on Ami's head, and it's like, well, I mean, just use her or don't,
Yeah, well.
But, that happens sometimes, I guess. Yeah. So, yeah, some ups and some downs, but I thought it had, a heart to it, and getting to see a little more and learn a little more about both Kyusuke and Junjun. Those are all pluses for me. So I gotta give it a 3.
Okay.
It's not a 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, yeah, it's a 3.
Okay. My English title is Over Fear Jump.
Just Over Fear Jump.
Yeah.
This is another one of those where you can just do 3 characters. Over Fear Jump.
Yes. Over Fear Jump.
Character for over looks like a line. It's maybe like a hill.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Fear. Oh, I can see there's a scary face in this thing.
And then
jump, arrow pointing straight up.
I was thinking the same thing. Get out of my head.
In future stories, they always do like English isn't taking over the world, but they're like, oh, there's all these immigrants. Like in Blade Runner. Mm-hmm. Where is he going with this? Like in Blade Runner, they speak Newspeak.
Oh, yeah.
And Newspeak is like a combination of like Japanese and Spanish and like Polish or something like that Mark Okrand or somebody ginned up, as a conlang for the film. And it's supposed to be representative of like, lots of people coming from everywhere. So if you're in LA, it's not going to be English necessarily.
Okay, sure.
Would the Japanese version of that be in their cyber future? They're just communicating with emojis.
Oh my God.
Because
I can see that.
People are dumb now. They don't know the 10,000 characters you need to know. But you can communicate. A face means happy, so that's happy. Jump is a little guy going, a Mario going, boing. That's how we do it.
That's our
dystopia.
Oh my God.
And America realized it with the Emoji Movie.
Oh my God.
My title reflects the setting of this and also, I think, the emotional heart of this episode. That's why my title is Track and Feels.
Next week is another episode of Shore Leave. We hope that you will be able to join us on our live stream as we talk about subjects that are related to Japan.
Yeah, I say this every week, but I'm really excited about my Shore Leave subject
for
next episode.
Very nice.
It's going to be really, really, really fun to talk about.
Good. I'm looking forward to mine
too. Visual aids, too.
Oh, visual aids always help.
Yeah. Well, that's what the video's for.
That is true.
I think going forward, we are going to continue doing them Friday nights now. So listeners, if you're looking for the show, it'll be out later after it's gone out live, obviously. If you're not able to join us. But if you are able to join us, please do.
Yes.
It doesn't cost you anything.
No.
And it's fun, and we incorporate the chat and the viewers into the show. So check us out, twitch.tv/JustEnoughTrope. If you go there now, you can hit the heart and the bell icon on the page there, and it will notify you when we're live and broadcasting and doing other stuff, because we do other stuff all throughout the week.
That's true.
On our Twitch channel.
Yeah, and the stream will be at 7 p.m. Central.
That's right.
On Friday.
Yeah.
So
the pivot to video.
Yes.
Well, it's more like a split focus.
Split focus? Is it?
Why not make war work for ourselves? We got the A and the V.
Well, do we do the friendship medal?
Let me say, I mean like audio visual.
Okay.
Don't just walk down the street and yell, I got the A and the V. That's not going to work out very well for you.
No, it's not going to work out well.
If you like the A... Still working.
Oh my God.
Go to your listening platform of choice and leave us a rating and a review. We'd really appreciate that. If you subscribe to the show there, then you're going to get it with no hassle. It's going to come to you, whatever platform you're on. But yeah, whatever platform you're on, give us a rating.
Yeah.
We'll read them on the show. Mm-hmm. We really appreciate it. We like hearing what you think about the show.
Yes, we do. Well, that's our show for this week. In the name of the moon, we'll be punishing you next week with another episode of Sailor Noob.
Gotta get that big athletic meat.